Hey everybody. I talk about movies a lot. And of course, I will continue to talk about movies. But today I'm going to go ahead and do something different. For this list, we're going to be looking at my top 10 favorite franchises. But not just the franchises that movies bring us, but any other type of media. I know I don't normally want to talk about anything other than film, but just for the sake of this list, which will still contain movie related stuff, these are the franchises that have more than just movies. There are lots of other things. So here's how this list will work. Any franchise on this list is only going to be one that features something for me other than film that I enjoy. It's all going to be ranked off of, best of the best. And anything that I like other than the film, like anything that contains something that I enjoy more than just the movie, will be in the top 10 through 6. The top 5 will be franchises mostly for my movie taste, but for the rest of the ones, like the lower parts of the list, those are all just going to be things that have movies I enjoy, but are mostly to my enjoyment in terms of something else of the media. So yeah, I get to talk a little more about anything just other than just film. So let's take a look. The Looney Tunes. They have a great collection of shorts. The Looney Tunes are hilarious. They're among one of the best cartoons ever. Their shorts are hilarious. They have lots of great stuff put together. I mostly enjoy them for all the great little cartoon shorts they provide. There's a ton of them. They're all hilarious. Got funny characters like Bugs, Daffy, Porky, Tweety. So many funny things. If you're not familiar with the Looney Tunes, you don't have a sense of humor. I shouldn't be like that, but at least know how funny the Looney Tunes are to respect your humor. In the terms of movies, they have some good ones. I mean, Space Jam was good, but I guess honestly, apart from the first Space Jam, there weren't really many other great Looney Tunes films. Apart from that, though, the shorts that they provide, the cartoons, are all great. I remember loving them then. I still love them now. Looney Tunes is a hilarious piece of work that will always remain some of the best cartoons ever produced. And here's for the video game industry. Super Mario. Super Mario has a ton of video games. They're practically Nintendo's ultimate mascot, one of the big video game mascots of all time. And I definitely can agree. I've played tons of great Mario games, whether that be the Super Mario Bros., Mario Kart. Most Mario titles are lots of fun for me. I definitely will continue to play Mario games, as Nintendo's the only brand of consoles I own, considering I don't want to become too much of a video game addict. There's movies as well. Well, only really 2 movies. There's the live action one, which sucked, and there was, of course, the newer one that just came out, which was much better. Apart from movies, there's a lot of video games this series has provided, and I think Super Mario really does make for some great titles. As a kid, I definitely was wanting to play as many Mario games as ever, and now that I'm older, I still look for some new ones to come out that I can enjoy, because there sure is a lot that this series can bring me. Here's another iconic cartoon, SpongeBob. SpongeBob was the ultimate childhood of mine. Whenever I started watching this as a kid, I would watch every episode as much as I wanted. I've seen every episode multiple times. Well, at least up to Season 9. After Season 9, I kind of stopped watching as I was getting older, and some of the newer episodes were getting stale. But anyway, up to Season 9, I've watched every episode nonstop. This cartoon was great then, and even to this day, I still love watching it. I think all the episodes are iconic and definitely age pretty well. There's still a lot of funny. While there are some stinkers, they're overall the funny ones are the good ones. The movies are nice too. We have 3 SpongeBob movies. The first one's pretty good, the second one's okay, and the third one's, I'll admit, kind of mediocre, but aside from that, the other 2 are fine. Overall, this series has some great episodes. Maybe some of the paler ones I can forgive, because for what is good, it is really good. Lego. Now, this is a brand that started off as something for kids to play with, but has become something that pretty much everybody collects. Hell, I still collect Lego, and I still own a crap ton of Lego sets. My whole room has a lot of Lego sets surrounding these walls, and even upstairs at my house, I keep a ton of Lego sets around. I still play with Lego. Every set I want, I get. Lego, I just play with as much as I can. And thus, Lego has provided a lot. There are a ton of Lego sets out there, and I collect as many as I like. What about for movies? Well, the first Lego movie was great, pretty great, one of my favorite non-Disney animated films. Same with the Lego Batman movie. And while I can't say the same about the Ninjago movie or the Lego movie sequel, the first two are great. Overall, Lego has been a toy brand that is still going strong, and I think I will still enjoy playing with for every day to come. Batman. Batman is a character that is among one of my favorite superheroes of all time, among one of the greatest superheroes ever. Batman started off in a nice comic series, has expanded so much with cartoons, movies, and all sorts of stuff. Ever since I was introduced to this hero, I cannot stop thinking about him. He has been my ultimate striving becoming of a hero, one of the best superheroes I can relate to. He has no superpowers, but lives with a nice, fun life, hiding in the shadows, fighting crime in the dark. He has a ton of villains to deal with, and a lot along from his normal life. He's pretty cool. I definitely think that Batman is a hero that everybody can enjoy. His presence is great. The movies he's provided are great too. He has a ton of movies. Some of them are pretty great. Overall, Batman is someone that's impossible to dislike. Sure, he may not have powers, but he certainly has a lot more to make him stand out from everyone else. And now let's get into some stuff that I definitely remember most from their film industry. With Toy Story. Toy Story, as far as I know, is the first ever film I remember watching that brought me into the love of more movies. This franchise introduced me to the incredible world of cinema and all the great movies I can watch. This is what got me into this sort of franchise of stuff, the media that movies provide. This I can thank for. The first Toy Story is a childhood classic that I will cherish ever and ever. The second movie is also, same with the third movie. And then there's the fourth movie, which wasn't actually my childhood, coming out more recently, but I definitely can admit it's still pretty great. Probably just because I grew up with the other three, and that kind of makes for fun to revisit my childhood on the big screen, but still, Toy Story is great. This, again, introduced me to bigger, better movies. I will always remember Toy Story as my ultimate childhood. It is my ultimate childhood, people. Lord of the Rings. While I personally am not someone who reads books a lot, I'm not really much of a reader. The Lord of the Rings I did read once for a school project. I read it and I enjoyed what I read, even though I didn't have much remembrance of it. For what I do remember, I remember enjoying. But then, of course, I watched the movies, and secretly, I mostly just watched movies to tell the teachers I read the books. But honestly, maybe Lord of the Rings isn't the best example. There's a lot of changes in the movies. But overall, the movies are incredible. They're considered one of the greatest films ever, and I certainly can agree. Each movie gets more and more epic. They're all just so amazing. What about the Hobbit movies? I count the Hobbit movies as well, even though they aren't really called Lord of the Rings. They're part of the same universe. They're not incredible. They're not great like these three trilogy movies are, but they're still good. Overall, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is an amazing trilogy, and the overall franchise is definitely something I can enjoy relating to. I just can't say. It's just too amazing. Now here's a superhero I certainly all can consider my favorite, Spider-Man. Spider-Man has really been someone I can enjoy. Spider-Man is a hero who has superpowers, sure, but he uses them in the best way ever. He has spider powers. He's a teenager. He has all sorts of stuff I can enjoy. The fact that this kid literally has the most insane abilities, despite only being in his high school, college years, really amazes me. All Spider-Man variations I enjoy. The Tobey Maguire one, the Andrew Garfield one, the Tom Holland one, and all the animated cartoon stuff as well. If you want to see my ranking of all Spider-Man movies, I made a video of that, so you can check that out and hate me for it. But overall, Spider-Man can definitely be considered my favorite superhero, as he has definitely had a big success from what I've seen of him. Along with the everlasting expanding universe of Marvel. Now, there are a lot of Marvel franchises, but there is, of course, the big cinematic universe one. Now, sure, they have had some stinkers recently, but the movies that are good, I personally think are pretty great. I can mostly consider the MCU to kind of stand on its own legs at having mostly just 19 films. Anything after that kind of just sticks its own way. But anyway, Marvel has some great movies, along with some great shows as well. Yes, Marvel has been releasing a lot of shows, some great, some not great, for the most part, I think the franchise can still be great despite having some stinkers. Even though they're, of course, having stinkers, the MCU overall has pretty big expansion, and the movies that really do amaze me a lot. Even though some can have more CGI than others, I think that's what makes for a good comic book film. Having a good chunk of CGI that thankfully doesn't take too much of it. Unlike most movies, of course. And now here's the franchise that I will always love, Star Wars. Again, may have its downs, but Star Wars is still amazing to me. This franchise is expanding in so many great ways. There are great movies, the great shows. This franchise overall is something that I love to death. Ever since I was introduced to Star Wars, I was hooked. I would love to have anything Star Wars related, just because of how much I love this franchise. The overall idea, the overall plots that each movie and show brings us, there's just so much that can be done with this idea. The fact that it both pays tribute to older stuff, along with being its own thing, really does make it something that I will always love. I just love the concept of Star Wars. Something that is set in its own fictional universe, isn't tied into our world. It's its own world, and it has its own little aspects. It pays tribute to stuff while staying its own thing. That's just what makes Star Wars great to me. I think Star Wars really does deserve this spot for me because as much as people want to criticize me for being basic, I will always love Star Wars to death. I don't care if that makes me basic. I don't care. Because Star Wars is certainly a franchise that I will always cherish. Hope you enjoy that, because I'm not going to be talking about anything apart from movie shows or anything else again. The rest of my channel is going to be consistent movie-related stuff, so get ready. No more of that talk about things other than film you're going to see here. I know, pisses you off, doesn't it? Kind of pisses me off too, but I can't help it.